Hey Oilers fans, I got the Draisaitl sweater on. I've got our victory chain. The Oilers pick up the 2 points in what ended up being a complete polar opposite game compared to the last time these two teams met. I do apologize if I still sound congested. I am still sick, but let's get into the post-game recap. It was Ullmark versus Skinner. Derek Ryan was back in the lineup with Sam Gagner being placed on waivers today. Visiting team has won 7 straight games between these two clubs, and that would be 8 straight now with the Oilers win. Skinner had a good save on Geeky early. Brown, this was his 500th NHL game, so good for Connor Brown, and this was James Van Riemsdyk's 1,000th career game for the Bruins, so congrats to Van Riemsdyk as well. Good fourth line shift for the Oilers. McDavid with a power move to the net was stopped by Ullmark. CC took down Geeky hard into the boards. There was no call. Top line was buzzing. Corey Perry just missed and deflected one over the net. Hyman had a chance, also deflected up high. Kulak had a chance in front, blocked. It was a nice play by Derek Ryan. Holloway was called for hooking. I didn't like that call at all. Skinner made a diving save on Marchand during the power play. The Oilers make the kill, and at the end of one, it was a very fast-moving period. 0-0. The shots were 10-9 for the Bruins, and the expected goals were 0.6 to 0.4 in favor of Edmonton. It was a bit of a feeling out period for both teams. Both teams were definitely sticking to a defensive game plan because the last time they met, it was a 6-5 shootout. And I don't think, well, they went to overtime, but I mean shootout as in there was just a lot of goals scored. Anyways, second period, Derek Ryan trips Pasternak. Oilers penalty kill early. 2 fourth-line penalties in the game at that point for Edmonton. There was a nice block by Desharnais, who ended up having numerous block shots tonight. We love that from Desharnais. McLeod had a good shot shorthanded. Oilers make the kill. They finished the night 2 for 2. Hyman then draws a power play. It was high sticking on Boqvist. Ullmark robbed McDavid and Draisaitl. The Oilers do not convert on their power play. Skinner with a good save off a deflection, and then Skinner robbed Pasternak on a one-timer, and Skinner made some pretty big saves today. The expected goals may not show that he made a ton of high-danger saves, but I feel like he played very good and gave Edmonton a real good chance to win. So we're happy for Stuart Skinner. I wrote the Oilers, the Kane and new Janmark line needs to end. I did not like how they looked into the second period. They ended up giving up a goal in the third, but we will get there. Draisaitl then levels Marchand with a big hit. Quick whistle ends a Bruins chance in the crease. Skinner with saves and a mad scramble in front. The Bruins were starting to take over the game. You could really feel it. You could feel the crowd energy. You could feel the Bruins. Every shift they were coming at you in waves. Skinner made a good save on DeBrusk. He actually made a couple of big saves on I wanted to say Jake DeBrusk. Oilers with their first shot in over 10 minutes in the second period. It was a save on Warren Foegele. McDavid was then stopped, his 6th shot on goal of the night, and that was near the end of the period. Kane then had an end-of-period giveaway to Pasternak, but he made up for it with a defensive play. He's lucky he didn't kind of get called for slashing there, but end of 2, it was 0-0. The shots were 22-17 in favor of the Bruins, and the expected goals were 1.9 to 0.95 in favor of Boston. Now, remember that because the Bruins ended up finishing the night with just 26 shots, which means in the third period and overtime, they were held to 4 shots by the Oilers, and they were only held to 0.1 expected goals. So the Oilers, they completely took over. Obviously, they're pressing. Bruins had the better chances in period 2. Skinner was holding down the fort. I wrote that they needed a big third. Oilers 11-3-1 win tied after 2. Desharnais had a good block. He's had a lot. I already mentioned that. Draisaitl was then robbed by Ullmark, then goes down hard. I thought Draisaitl might have been potentially injured there, but he ended up being fine. Zacha then makes a 1-0 off a defensive breakdown by the Nugent-Hopkins line. CC was caught up the ice. Zacha with a one-timer. Not really much of a chance for Skinner. Maybe you'd like some better lateral movement, but if you're going to nitpick, I mean, that would be the only thing on Skinner tonight. Skinner then makes up for it with a nice save on Pasternak. Holloway was then put with 91 and 93. Ullmark made a save on Bouchard, and then Foegele was put with 91 and 93. So they were trying to rotate guys on that second line instead of just bumping Draisaitl off the McDavid line for some reason. Oilers weren't generating much with 6:30 left. DeBrusk was stopped by Skinner on a clapper in the circle. McDavid drew a power play with 5:08. There wasn't much there, but we'll take those power plays. Draisaitl was stopped on his one-timer. The Oilers didn't generate much. It took a minute to set up the dry 1T that was telegraphed from a mile away. It was the only shot the Oilers had on that power play. And then McLeod, after the power play, missed a wide open net. I could not believe it. I actually thought the Oilers were going to get shut out at that point. Oilers pull the net. Heinen just misses. but Nuge made a great play. He came back hard on the back check, and he got his stick just in the lane, just enough to block Heinen's shot from going in. Oilers then tie it with 1:20 to go. It was Draisaitl. He deflected a puck up. It went up and over Allmark into the net. It was a wild scramble in front. Heading to overtime, these two teams are always playing close games. End of the third, the shots. I thought it was 27-26 Oilers, but evidently not, because the final shots on goal total on the screen is 26. So the Oilers must have been at 25 shots. So it was 26-25 in favor of Boston. Expected goals were 2 to 1.8 in favor of the Bruins. Now in overtime, there wasn't a whole lot going on until McDavid, very good patience, found Draisaitl for the overtime one-time winner. That's kind of a mouthful to say. Oilers have now won 5 straight games. And my 3 stars for the night, my third star was Stuart Skinner, held the fort, kept Edmonton in it, gave them a chance to win. It's also the 5th straight game that the Oilers have given up 2 goals or less. So when that happens, if you guys watch my pregame report, if you keep the goals against under 3, I like Edmonton's chances. Second star, Connor McDavid, 2 assists. And first star, Leon Draisaitl, 2 goals. Now, Hyman was credited with the first goal. I think it will go to Draisaitl, though. Up next for the Oilers is Columbus, Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, before we get into the outro, if you guys missed it, I made an announcement earlier. I have joined the Locked On Podcast Network for the Edmonton Oilers. It is a 5-day-a-week podcast. If that's something that you guys are interested in, we are going to rebuild that channel. We're going to rebuild that podcast. The old host, he moved on to Oilers Nation a while back, so there hasn't been a host for a few months, but I'm excited for the opportunity. I will leave a link in the description for the Locked On Oilers podcast YouTube channel. And if you guys are curious or concerned about the content on this main channel where you're watching me right now, don't you guys worry. I will still have pregame reports, postgame recaps, and other short form content. The Locked On Oilers podcast, that is 30-minute episodes, Monday to Friday is what it's going to be. I can't guarantee when that first episode goes up, but I did want to mention it for you guys because you deserve to know, and I'm kind of excited for the opportunity as well. I will always have daily uploads on this channel, though, so if the podcast style stuff isn't for you, you don't have to worry about it. You can always come here for the pregame reports, postgame recaps, and much more. As always, if you liked today's video, make sure you hit like. If you really liked it, make sure you hit subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. It will probably be a day after segment tomorrow. We'll see how I'm feeling. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night.